we are discussing, again, blue light systems.
Mm-hmm.
This time it's going to be a deeper dive for integrators and designers.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want the whys, why you would need one in your application, you're going to back up and go to the last video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But we can go ahead and get started.
So, technical stuff. When I first got into this business, there were a lot of blue light systems being used. They were hard to design, they required frequent maintenance, they broke a lot, they required a lot of testing, a lot of upkeep. They used relays. They mechanical buttons, wiring to relays, and then firing strobes or firing LED lights. So it wasn't really used very often, and slowly it fell out of popularity, and not a lot of people use them nowadays. But because of our new intelligent intrusion detection systems, they're a lot easier to implement, they're a lot easier to set up, they're a lot more flexible, so a lot more people are using them now. For example, you can have a button and fire a single strobe, so just one-to-one. You can have one-to-many strobes, one firing all strobes. You can change the number of strobes, the types of strobes, the cluster of strobes that get fired based on a schedule, based on a custom function. So during the day when people are present, you hit the button and all the strobes get fired, or at night when you have a limited schedule, you can hit the button and it'll only fire the strobes in the areas where the security guards are. You can add more stuff like notification by text message, notification by email, notification through the app. You can integrate it into other third-party systems like your VMS. So you hit a panic button and it'll bring up a video screen at the security desk. It'll set off automated messages on your public address system. It'll send messages on your walkie-talkies by third-party systems like the Alertus setup. So you can do a lot more stuff than you ever were able to do. Plus, it's more flexible because you can remote program your systems using Cloud Connect. It's easier to experiment. It's easier to change things. If the schedule that they have changes or the threat levels that they have changes, you can just go into the system remotely, change the behavior of the strobes, and the whole entire system changes. Everything is monitored and supervised, so you have a lot more confidence that your strobes are actually working and that your buttons are actually working, which you didn't have in an old school blue light system. Now, a couple of things that you want to keep in mind when you're designing a blue light system. First, you're almost always going to need to get aux power for your strobe. So you do want to do a power calculation, figure out what your max load is, and then figure out how much power is coming out of the panel and whether or not you need a B520 auxiliary power supply. You need B208 input modules for every button. You need B308 output modules for all your strobes. And then you want to figure out exactly what button you want to trigger all these outputs. You can get a push button or a mushroom style button. Some people like to have a button with a cover. Some people like to have a latching double pull, double throw push button, so you can shunt the strobe, which you would want to do if you want to kill the strobe that's most visible from the place where you need the help. So you would hit the button and it would fire every strobe except for the one where you needed the help. So if somebody was interacting with another person, they felt threatened, they could hit the button, and the person that they were interacting with couldn't see that the lights were being activated, but everybody else could see the lights were being activated.
Okay, so to wrap things up, we'll talk about first that Bosch has great training online that you can do for the both B and G series panels, which would be good for this type of information. You're going to want to know what you're working with. And then also Ari can come out to your office and do a training. We can do a lunch and learn. There's lots of things we can offer for you there. And then as always, give us an email, shoot us an email at support@midchest.com. We can help you design, quote, and answer any questions that you have.
Right. Obviously, this is slightly more complex than your average motion detectors and contacts, but not that much more complicated. If you're watching this video, you probably already have most of the technical skills you need to implement this. So give us a call. We'll be happy to come down, talk about your specific application, draw out a wiring diagram or whatever. We can figure out exactly what parts you need, what accessories you need. Katie can set up a bill of materials. We'll be happy to come down and do a meeting at your location, do a walkthrough at your location, so we can make sure that you can get this whole setup working right the first time.